Hello, I sit before you at the beginning of yet another school year. We are making our way through month number one here in New York City, but for many of us around the country, this is month number two. And there's so much that we are learning as I reflect on these first few weeks of school. If your school community is anything like my school community, this year has been defined by several new approaches, new programs, new initiatives, and new curricular approaches. And that comes with it a healthy share of anxiety and fear as we learn ways of doing new things. And I've been trying to keep all of my anxieties and fears in check. And I've been reflecting on the experience and thinking about how we do the things that we do in new ways, right? But how we do those things in ways that are healthy, not just for us as practitioners, but for students. And one of the fears that has emerged for me as we try these new approaches is that I am quite aware that there are some curricular approaches in the world that do not work for all kids. And I'm certain that you're aware of this too. Now, of course, we know that this does not disqualify a curricular approach or make it 100% bad. It simply means that we as practitioners have to do a little bit of thinking and a little bit of reflection to make sure that things work powerfully for all of our learners, not just a select few, not just the ones who, come with the appropriate materials or prior experience, but for all kids. And so one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, again, is that we know that there are some curricular approaches that don't work for all kids. And one of the things that has happened historically in our profession, and I want to make sure that it doesn't happen as we share this new moment, but one of the things that has happened historically is sometimes we proceed with those curricular approaches anyway, right? That we, don't always think about how we might reimagine or remix or bend curriculum to meet the needs of kids. And sometimes what happens is that we demand that kids conform to us. And this isn't okay. I know that it's not okay. You know that it's not okay. But one of the things that I've been seeing in the last few weeks as we kind of move through the dawn of this new school year is that kids know that it's not okay. Now, no kid ever is going to send me an email that says, "Dear Mr. Minor, the way that you've constructed this new learning experience does not meet my needs as a learner." Or, "Dear Mr. Minor, the way that you've crafted this lesson doesn't necessarily land with me as a thinker." I'm never going to get that email from a kid, or maybe I'll get it from one or two kids. More likely than not, what happens in classroom space is that when we engage in curricular experiences that don't meet the needs of kids, kids tune out. They might talk to a friend or walk around the classroom. In some extreme cases, they might throw a paper ball or call a name. And all of these behaviors are tied to the fact that the experience that they're having in the classroom doesn't quite suit them. And instead of reflecting on that curricular mismatch, what often happens in school space is that kids earn labels. They earn labels like disobedient or defiant. And what scares me is that those labels tend to stay with kids and they follow kids through their career. And so in this curricular moment, as we move through the newness and the anxiety of this moment, one of the things that I am really watching is how I think about kids and the experiences that I bring to school for them. And I've been thinking to myself, as we try all of these new things, what am I learning from kids? What am I learning about kids? And how am I using this learning to make small tweaks and adjustments, right? That the work isn't that I force kids into certain experiences, simply because they are mandated. Rather, the work is I ease my way into these experiences in a reflective stance. I'm thinking about what kids are showing me, what I'm learning from kids, and I'm using all of that information, all of that data to inform how I proceed. But as we start this new school year, there is so much ahead of us that feels uncertain, that feels new, but there's also so much ahead of us that feels possible. And I want to make sure that everything that I do with kids is rooted in that sense of exploration, possibility, learning, and reflection.